Good morning, guys.
Morning, y'all.
I tell you what, I woke up in rare form this morning and I'm just ready to rant. And it's way too early for a rant. But we'll get into it here in a minute. How's that?
Sure.
You don't want to listen to a rant, but, well, I suggest you go watch Barney on YouTube. I love you. You love me. We're a happy family. Now, I woke up yesterday morning and I watched the news. I try to catch what news I can catch. This G kind of brought the Starbucks thing to my attention the other day. I watched a video of this kid on TikTok, wasn't it?
Yep, it was on TikTok.
And this kid's bawling his eyes out,
In the
saying,
back room.
yeah, back room, bawling his eyes out in a corner, crying his eyes out because he's got to work an 8-hour day.
And he's a full-time student, mind you.
Yeah. And
An 8-hour day, twice in a row. He only works, what he said, like 20 hours a week.
Yeah, 20 hours a week, 8 hours a day, twice in a row, and just unfair work practices by Starbucks.
Yeah, because they're understaffed. They're super busy.
Everybody's understaffed right now.
And there's 4 people on the floor. Yeah, 4 people on the floor. But he's in the back room crying, so that makes only 3 people on the floor.
I watched the news yesterday, and I see the lady on there that they had on national news, mind you, and she's griping that they're having to do other jobs. Well, as a business owner, if I hire an employee, that employee ain't got nothing else to do, I expect them to wash the toilets instead of standing around doing absolutely nothing. I expect them to do something. I mean, how many different jobs do they have at Starbucks? Maybe some janitorial work, cleaning the tables. Maybe a cashier. Okay, there's a second job. Make a sandwich, one of the panini things, I guess. What else they do? Grab something out of the case and give somebody a scone and make coffee, right? So how many people do they expect Starbucks to have to hire to run one little store?
And mind you, I understand that you're busy, but look at our nurses and our policemen. I worked in a nursing home, and we were always understaffed. I mean, CNAs, nurses, it's not like you're just, and I understand they serve coffee, they make food, and they do prep work and everything like that, but I don't think that's too much to ask from someone that's hired to do an 8-hour shift.
Heck, these guys are getting benefits. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I'm all for unionizing. I mean, if you want to unionize, that's fine. Talk about unfair work, an unfair workplace, But as far as having to do more than one job, we were hired to work in the store. Now, the one thing that the kid did say that I agreed with him on while he was crying, and I had a hard time agreeing with him, was the manager setting the schedule and setting the schedule in their favor.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going to manage a place, you set a work environment, and you don't expect your workers to do anything that you wouldn't do. That's what makes a good manager. Not set your work schedule that suits you the best. You set an example for your employees. That's what makes a good leader. And so if I was Starbucks, I would probably start looking into my management. But as far as everything else they're griping about, I didn't hear nothing about unfair wages.
No.
I heard we're having to actually work.
I didn't hear that, there's one person manning the store, and I understand how busy Starbucks gets because a lot of people like Starbucks. But one person manning, on the floor dealing with a crowd of customers, no.
But we're in an economy right now where most people don't want to work. I mean, look at all the help wanted signs and look at all the businesses going out of business because people don't want to work. The thing that gets me is it's on national news. You had a convoy of trucks and cars that was 60 miles long going to Washington, D.C., and they couldn't catch any press. Why? Because it was against the government. Now we're talking about a ranch, John.
I'm sorry, that was cute though. Kyle says I like Dunkin' Donuts better. Starbucks is too expensive.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I'm not a big Starbucks fan myself. It just really got my goat when it got such publicity on national news.
It started on TikTok. A kid crying in the back room because it was unfair because
Bawling his
there
eyes
were
out.
awful work conditions that Starbucks is making them work in because
He had
the
to work
full-time
8 hours
student,
twice,
he had to
2
work
days in a row.
2 days in a row, an 8-hour shift. He works
On a
20
weekend.
hours a week. And there was only 4 people on the floor in the store. But yet, he shorthanded the other 3 people who put more work on them by being in the back, having his
Meltdown.
meltdown, instead of being out there, sucking it up and helping his coworkers.
On company time.
Dorothy says 1,000 employees went on strike out of 30,000 stores. It's not even worth your breath, LOL.
Well, like I said though, it made national news. It was
That's
all
the
over the
thing.
news, and that's the thing that pissed me off the most.
It's
Is
because a couple days prior is when I showed you the TikTok of this kid in the back room crying, and then a couple mornings later, it's on national news.
it was a headline.
Yes. Wondering, Sansa, good morning, Mr. and Mrs. G. Good morning.
I go and protest the government for 5 months, and I'm labeled a racist.
Audrey says it's the younger people these days have poor work ethic. You can't say
Not all
that.
of them, not all of
them. You can't make a blanket statement.
I
like that
hate
because-
to put them all in the
Not
same
every-
category because there's some fine young men and women out there.
Yes, and they're out there defending our country, and there's a lot more out there working their hind ends off.
It's the ones that cry in the corner that they have to work 2 days in a row at 8 hours a day are the ones that we see, and it gives the rest of them a bad name.
Tammy, thank you for the stars, hon. Star salute.
Thank you, sweetheart.
John says about every place you go anywhere around there is help wanted signs. That I agree with G. Nowadays, people just don't want to work. They don't. They don't want to work. It is not poor work conditions when you're put on the schedule for 2 days in a row to work 8-hour shifts.
A lot of these people just feel that if I show up, I should make a paycheck.
I worked at one place, and the lady that owned the store, she said, if you're leaning, you could be cleaning. So go get to
Well, that's
cleaning.
right.
I'm
Grab
like,
a
okay.
broom, grab a mop, grab a toilet scrubber.
Rearrange the back room, sweep the floor, do whatever you can. Andrew just
So tired of that's not my job. That's not my job.
Good morning, G. Safe travels. Have a great day. You too, sweetheart. Kathy says, good morning, G family. Good morning, hon. Angel Dawn says, fire them all. TP
The problem is you can't find nobody to replace them.
Good morning. Angel Dawn says, I remember when you had to fight to get a job and work hard or you lose your job.
That's because there wasn't free money all over the place. You actually had to work in order to eat.
Tammy Dent says, good morning, Mr. and Mrs. G. Good morning, hon. Screw Plan says, good morning, you all. Good morning, hon. Kathy says, good morning. G's from Michigan. Have a great day. You
I'm
too,
sure I'll get
sweetheart.
backlash over this. I just don't care. I've been bottling it up inside of me, and it's not just Starbucks. I mean, I've got a whole list of things I just want to unleash. And we're not going to do it all right now.
Linda says, good morning and safe travels. Thank you, hon.
I pick the most opportune times to do these rants, don't I? Like 6 o'clock in the morning, nobody's even awake.
thinking they need a safe space.
Carol, you guys, you raised your children, right? Your
Yeah.
children were raised to be workers. I know your family and your whole family are workers.
Kathy says, good morning, G's and G family. Good morning, sweetheart.
That's Carol Nagy, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Jess's wife.
I thought so.
Tammy says, it's part of life. You want nice things? It's called go to work. There is no free handouts in life.
But the
Yvonne,
thing is, there is free handouts. That's what our problem is right now. Is the free handouts.
Yvonne says, good morning, G's and G-Force family. Safe travels and much love. Much love to you, sweetie. Shannon says, good morning, G's from Oklahoma. Good morning. Kathy says, good morning, G's and G family. Good morning, sweetheart. Bobby says, good morning from my cold Pittsburgh, PA. Good morning. Johnny D, JT Taylor in the house. What? Says, good morning, family. Please be safe out there on I-40 East, mile marker 188, Hazen, Arkansas. Traffic stopped. Traffic stopped because of CMB rollover. No precipitation on the road. Just rolling too fast. Please keep her safe and hammer down.
Definitely, girl.
And Johnny, thank you for the stars, son. Stars to live.
Thank you.
Good morning to you, sweetheart. Mama Bear Sally says 4 to 8 inches more snow for Buffalo with 40 mile per hour. Just looked at my weather update for Sunday to Monday. Oh, you guys are in for it this weekend. TV for Freedom says teaching kids to feel entitled. They get hired fresh out of college, no work experience, many start as salary, vacation day one, and don't even put in 7 hours a day, while my gen works 10 to 16 hours a day.
It's crazy. It's not getting no better. I don't see it getting any better.
Patricia said, you go, G's. I started working at the age of 12 and retired at 67. Brenda says, good morning, and precious G's and G-Force. Good morning, hon. John says, heck, nowadays kids don't even want to shovel snow.
It's not all kids. There's some hustlers out there. Some
There are.
real go-getters. Some workers. We just don't see them. Why? Because they're too busy out there.
They're working.
They're not out there making TikToks. They're out there working. Not out there on Instagram. They're out there working. Not out there on Facebook and YouTube. They're working.
Yep.
As I'm sitting here on YouTube and Facebook. But guess what I'm doing?
Working.
I'm working.
Trina says, my 15-year-old son worked with his brother installing fences. Worked 50-hour a week. I never complained. People need to instill work ethic into their children. I agree with that.
Most of our truckers do 70 hours a week. And want to work more, but the government won't allow it.
Jen Jensen says, good morning, G's. We had a trucker pass away yesterday. Took the ditch and hit a pile that cut the cab in half, killing himself instead of hitting the pickup head on that was in his lane.
Sounds like an old school trucker to me.
Yes.
Prayers for his family.
God rest his soul.
That
And we
used to
will
be
keep
the code.
his family in our prayers. Kevin says, good morning, G's and G-Force family from Free State of Florida, 49 degrees. Good morning, hon. Jane says, good morning, G's. Don't drink coffee. Hot chocolate. Tammy says, I started working at 12 with my paper route by 15 in summer, had 3 jobs, and still went to school. Graduated on time.
And I bet you wasn't in the corner crying when you had to work 2 8-hour shifts on company time.
I just don't understand. I don't get it. Hard work is not going to kill you.
Heck, work ain't gonna kill you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, hon.
I mean, how hard is it to pour coffee?
Wash dishes, sweep the floor, wipe the table, clean the toilets.
Hardest part is dragging your ass out of bed and getting to work.
Jane says, have safe travels from Rogersville. Thank you, sweetheart. Heather says, good morning, G-Fam. Hope y'all are doing well. I got a trucker in my bed. Shh, LOL. Aww. The What are you doing watching us?
She done tuckered him out.
It blows my mind.
Like most of my videos, I get my rant out of the way in the very first part of it, and then I start calming down because I got it off my chest. Just burns me up to think about it, though.
I was pretty appalled when I seen it.
The same kid that was crying, I seen him on the news, holding one of the signs. He was all ecstatic. I'm all for your right to protest, don't get me wrong. I was just mad at that it made national news.
We're making such a big deal of it.
When other things that really matter don't never even get the light of day.
Joe Hicks says, what time do you think you'll be passing by Six Flags in St. Louis?
I'm guessing it's probably going to be tomorrow. Actually, I didn't tell Mrs. G, but I think we're going to go ahead and stop at Bob's Burger tonight. And I might swing by the house and just go take a glance.
Oh.
And get up early in the morning and roll out and head on into Kentucky.
Alright. That's a nice little surprise. Heather says, I got farm chores that need done, LOL.
Hell, farming never stops.
That's why she's waiting. She tuckered him out and she's still ready to go.
I mean, just her mentioning the farm, you know, farmers don't stop.
That's 24/7, 365.
365.
There's no stopping when it comes to farming.
Christmas, gotta go
Yep.
milk the cows.
Yep.
Thanksgiving, after we milk the cows.
John Sahady says, oh, you mean you actually want folks to do something for the money they feel they are entitled to?
It's crazy.
Michelle Brennan says, good morning, G's and G4s. Good morning, sweetie. John says, say good morning to Nix. Oh, I
You know, we used to tell the kids when they were younger, hey, go clean up the mess. I didn't do it. I don't care who did it. Get it clean.
Exactly. John Sahady says, say good morning to Nix. She came in and is watching now. Good morning, Nix. How you doing, baby girl?
The kids learned real quick to stop saying, I didn't do it.
that. Just
Go
go
clean
do
it.
it.
I don't care who did it.
TV for Freedom says hard work seems to be dirty work nowadays. It's unbelievable. I started to work at 12, doing whatever I could to earn a buck. Happy to have a great work ethic instilled by parents. Mama Bear Sally says everything is closed down on the 511 app for highways. Prayers for the truckers. Yes. Hopefully they found a good spot to hunker down, have plenty of food, and are staying nice and warm. Tammy Dent says during the week, work fast food during the day, at cleaning bathrooms and offices 2 nights a week, and never hurt for money. Felt good to buy my own waterbed and stereo. Hey Daniel. Seeger's mom says, well, since I have no info on this kid's mental health, I'm not gonna speculate. I understand getting
I don't
up
care what
and
their
not
I don't
wanting to
care what
work.
their mental health is.
And
To be
have-
honest with you,
you know,
they were hired to do a job. Do the damn job, or move on. One of the two. As far as mental health goes and handicaps go, I've seen handicap out there busting their ass,
Oh yeah.
working every day and glad to be there and happy to be there.
Yep. And not only working one job, but
Multiple
2 jobs.
jobs.
Yeah. Joe Hicks says, was going to say you're going to be that close to your house. You should stop.
My uncle, he's mentally handicapped, and he worked in the hospital for decades.
For a long time.
And they're finally making him retire, and he don't want to retire.
He does not.
He wants to work.
He enjoys working.
He tells me, Gerald, he goes, I'm not ready for this.
He's so cute.
And he's got the mentality of I'd say, what, a 10-year-old?
Yeah. About 8, 10-year-old.
But he's got the work ethic of no man I've ever seen.
John Katie says she got a big smile. Oh, she's such a sweet little girl.
figured I better add that in case they see it.
Austin says, I am legally blind and disagree with all of these entitled kids. I busted my butt for almost 7 years in the kitchen. It was not my dream job, but it paid the bills while I needed
Do
it.
what you gotta do, don't you, brother?
Right. And that's what I was saying. You know, I remember the days of when I was at home while G was on the road, and I worked. I got up. I didn't have, you know, maybe I didn't sleep the night before or whatnot, but I got up, dragged my butt up out of bed, got myself around, and went to work. And at the end of the day, got home, made supper for the kids, ran the kids where they needed to go, and then did it all over again the next day. Papa Mike says, when you work for a company, you give up individual choice. Do what's asked of you and be happy to have a job. And Eva says, after church one night, I stopped to get a chocolate milkshake on the way home. The girl taking the order was obviously new and in high school. Maybe her first job. Anyways, she gave me vanilla.
Yeah, that happens.
That happened. It does. TV for Freedom says, sunrise with the G's. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. You too, sweetheart. Lori says, I gave up on hiring people to work for $30 an hour. They want to be on their cell phones. And that's the thing. That's what is crazy. Is that this guy is in the back room crying on his cell phone, putting it on TikTok while he is complaining that they're short staffed. So basically, there was supposed to be, I guess, 5 people working that day. Only 4 showed up, and then minus him because he's in the back room on his cell phone recording it. His mental meltdown. So there's only 3 people on the floor. Which, how is that fair to the 3 people that are left on the floor? He was only thinking about himself at the time. Amy says, I told her and the supervisor woman went absolutely ballistic on her in front of me at the drive-thru. She was horrible. I went off on her at how she treated that girl in front of me and then got the franchise number. Well, there's no call for that. You know, it was a mistake.
Mistakes
Correct the
happen.
mistake. I'll apologize and correct the mistake. It's not a big deal. I remember I worked in the bakery at Walmart and we decorated a cake for someone's wedding. It was picked up. They took it and everything like that. Well, apparently when they took it, the roses were the wrong color. Those people came down there. I did not decorate the cake myself. They came down there and they ate me a new one. I mean, went off on me badly. My manager stepped up. He intervened. He started speaking with the customer that was disgruntled, trying to get the situation repaired. And he had me go to the back room and he dealt with the customers. But it's like, I'm trying to help the situation. I don't know how the wires got crossed when the order was taken. I looked up the sheet, everything. It was written down correctly. I don't understand what happened from the time the person reading it to the time they were decorating it. Robert says, I busted my butt for 42 years in trucking, and I don't know how much longer I'll keep driving a big truck with the shape the economy is in. I might be driving till I'm 80.
Rates are going down. Fuel's going up. It's getting harder and harder to make a living in a truck.
Seeger's mom says, union family here, and my husband works 64 hours a week and works hard.
And I bet he's not in the back room crying about it either, is he?
Mama Bear Sally says, it's sad. People can't even put down phones for dinner anymore. No. Eva says, exactly. Thank you. I think of that girl often, and I hope I made a difference to her.
I'm not against unions, and I'm not against unionizing. It's just what they got going on with Starbucks right now. That's not my vision of a union. To bitch because you have to work 8 hours a day. To bitch because there's only 4 people on the floor when there should have been 5. Now I do agree that they need to do something about their management. If
Yes.
management's managing would benefit them, their own personal schedule, and not setting a good example for their worker, for the employees. They should be working just as hard as the employees.
Lee Robinson says diesel is $5.99 in New York. Ridgeline on the Edge says, good morning, Mr. and Mrs. G. Nice to see you. Happy Thanksgiving and God bless you both. P.S. I pray for our country and the new generation of workers and their values.
You and me both, brother.
Eva says, yes, G. Seeger's mom says, my grandson is 15, needs a liver transplant, and works as a dishwasher and does lawn care in summer.
I guess the part that maybe the maddest is the national coverage they're getting, the media coverage that they're getting over this.
Robert Mack says, good morning to Trucker G and Mr. G. Are you by Texas? We're in Oklahoma, hun, in El Reno, Oklahoma. TV for Freedom says, we used to be thrilled for the opportunity to work overtime. Make money while you can't be able to live how you want.
Yeah, they weren't even bitching about overtime. They were
No.
bitching about a straight 8-hour day.
2 days in a row.
Yeah. They were mad because they had to do more than one job. Like I said, when you work at a coffee shop, how many different jobs are there?
Yes, you may be hired to be a cashier, but while you're there, there's so many other things that you
If
can
there's something
do.
else that needs to be done, you jump in there and you help get it done.
Besides the fact that it helps your, it helps pass the day too, you know? You can't just stand there and twiddle your thumbs. Pick up a mop, pick up a broom, grab a rag and some cleaner, wipe tables down, wipe the wall down, clean behind the equipment. Carla says, good morning, y'all. Good morning, sweetheart. Look at that. I just really looked up and seen the sky. Look how pretty that is.
Its beauty is nothing in comparison to you, baby. You like that?
Someone's laying it on thick this morning. What are you going to do
Yeah.
later?
I'll mess it up.
TV for Freedom says, yep, your job is to do whatever needs doing. Exactly. B. Robinson says, I'd rather be busy at work. I find things to do. Standing around makes the time go slow. And it does.
Well, I'm sure they find something else to do too, like go in the back room, make TikToks, and crap out of it.
Austin says, unions provide much good. They are not perfect, and I do not support them all. This country needs a reminder of how harsh work conditions used to be. My grandpa worked in a factory for next to nothing. He was a Caterpillar factory worker. You get caught standing around, and you got sent home. Carla says, work is done when everyone's work is done. Dwayne says the sky is gorgeous. It is beautiful, isn't it? Kelly says, my son helped support his wife while she went to school by working 4 jobs at one time. Eva says, I'm a 911 dispatcher, and I had to deal with more illegal things than any other job I had. If we had to work OT, the sheriff decided if we were paid time and a half or given hours. Problem being, Mom Bear Sally says, when I was a supervisor, if I asked someone to do it, I did it as well. Exactly.
Yeah, see, I can understand that. You know, you're working overtime, and I don't want to pay overtime. I understand the griping about it. Like I said, none of those Starbucks employees did I hear saying anything like that. They were complaining that they had to do more than one job. They were complaining that they had to work 8 hours that he had to work 8 hours, 2 shifts in a row.
Yes. Lori Allen says, sad years ago, kids used to walk by wanting to rake your yard or shovel snow to make money. Now you don't see kids wanting to make money. Excuse me. Eva says,
I don't know, I watched a little kid the other day, he was 10 years old, who applied for a dishwashing job at this chain restaurant because he wanted to make enough money to earn an Xbox.
yes.
And,
one of the new Xboxes.
The CEO of the company reached out to the kid and actually brought the kid in. He wasn't able to give him a job because of
He was cheap.
labor practices. But brought the kid in and actually gave the kid an Xbox. And the kid was pretty ecstatic about it. The kid was a little sad. He goes, I really wanted the job.
He did. He's a sweet
Because the
little
Xbox
boy.
was nice and all, but I really wanted the job.
He wanted to earn it. Eva says, we're only given an hour per hour, not time and a half. Guess how many times we were given hours? Kelly says, much respect to you, Eva. Mom and sister were both one.
It'd be a hard job to do.
Yes, it would. Robert Max says, when I worked, I not only drove CDL, I worked in the yard and QT, or QC. Mama Bear Sally says, so was complaining they had to clean. They were complaining that if they were hired to be a cashier, that they had to do anything besides cashiering. If they were hired to make the coffee, they were complaining that they had to do anything besides make the coffee. And you're hired to do a job. It's not just for that specific job. It's to maintain your work environment for the customers that you'll be serving. Tammy says, my dream job now would be a cashier at Love's or Pilot and enjoy the truck driver stories and their jokes.
Oh, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Melinda says, good morning, G's. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. We're doing great, hon. I hope you're doing well, too. Carla says, I belong to a union. I was so excited. As a flight attendant when I became a Teamster. They have done nothing for our work group, but tell us you can't, you're just a flight attendant. Unions had a place in their time, just like our government. They have forgotten they work for us. Austin says, a 10-year-old being sad about being handed something gives me hope about this world.
Yeah, he was sad that he didn't get the job. He wanted the job.
He wanted the job because he wanted to earn the money for his Xbox. Scott says work ethic are taught by parents. And you're right. It is. Ridgeline says studies have shown that students, high school or college, with jobs and responsibility and accountability have the best time management skills and better grades. Lori Allen says, gee, I seen that about the 10-year-old. LOL.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty proud of the child, and it wasn't even mine.
Robert Max says, unfortunately, in my opinion, these young kids growing up don't have direction or goal in life. Sweet says, morning, y'all, from Ironton. We're frozen. Brr. It's 21 at the moment. Good morning, Sweet. Desiree says, I wish I could work. My health will not let me. I get so bored at home. Carolyn says, the work ethic my parents taught me was very strong. We ran a farm with cattle, hogs, and crops. Brother, my parents also worked town jobs. When you grow up like that, work ethic is normal. There we go. Dark box. City Bug says, good morning, family. What gets me is that everyone has a tip jar for doing their job. I've noticed
Everybody
that a lot.
wants a tip.
I've noticed it more and more, though.
Yeah.
Mama Bear Sally says, mini toilets to register.
Yeah. You go to some places, and you get some food to go, and you run your card through there, and when you run your card through there, it asks if you want a tip. No, you just charged me $20 for a hamburger. No, I don't want a tip.
Gloria says, been to Walmart lately? I refuse to use self-checkouts. Will walk away from my cart and leave. When they put me too old now on payroll, then I'll check out.
Sad thing is, I usually end up tipping, even if we get it to go, just because I don't want to look bad. And I shouldn't feel that way, but
Robert Mack says, please, let's hit the like button for Trucker G and Mr. G. Thank you, Robert Mack. Lori says, I'm 60 and put in 10-hour days. I don't turn down work unless I'm booked for the day. LOL. TP for Freedom says, hopefully someone hires that 10-year-old young man to help around their home, yard work or anything, to keep his interest in working alive until old enough for labor laws.
I guess it kind of just depends on where you lived. I know if I lived in the city, I wouldn't want my kids going around working for just anybody that if I didn't know them. And heck, these days, even if you know somebody, do you really know them? I mean, I'm really protective of my children.
Very leery. Tammy Dan says, I get to see the future workforce. I drive school bus and can see the kids each day and hear what they want to do in life. Brandy says, same here with the self-checkout.
Yeah, I don't do self-checkout.
Scott says, LOL, my Walmart cashier has tip jar.
Really?
That's the first. I've never seen a tip jar in a Walmart.
Surely you're joking.
Connie says, I started working at 13 waiting tables because I had to help support my family. We have a generation that are very entitled, want paid, but don't want to work.
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Like I see some people my age that don't want to work.
Yep. We have individuals.
Many individuals.
Yep. Eva says, does anyone know if the union is responsible for waiters getting paid under minimum wage and starting the tip? Starting the tips. I don't know, Eva.
I don't know if waiters are unionized.
Lisa says, at 11, I was washing dogs, doing dishes for old folks, and raking leaves of grass. At 13, I was doing these plus mowing lawns. Lied at 15 to get my first paycheck job for student wages. Karen says, I boycotted Royal Farms because everyone has to go through self-checkout. It's BS. These people think they are earning a living by standing around doing basically nothing. I've had 2 jobs for the majority of my life. Worked 7 days a week, 9 months a year. Sorry, you have struck a nerve. No, you're fine, hon. Lynn says, beautiful sun coming up. It is. It's really pretty. Lots of color in the sky. Dwayne said, I would fire everyone at Starbucks. Scott said, yes, not a joke. He was being serious about the tip jar. Robert Mack says, I don't do self-checkout either. It's taking a job from someone. And the thing is, when we started seeing it,
Oh, I'm really gonna push buttons here. I'm really gonna push buttons. Hold on. I'm about to really push buttons. The way I see it, I know a lot of people bitch about cart return. Guess what? When you return those carts, you just put somebody out of business too. They got a little machine that can go pick up them carts. Miss G's really good about returning the cart. I'm like, no, the guy gets paid to come do that. I don't want to put him out of a job.
I put them in the
That's what I said.
take it into the store.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're really good about it. Sorry, maybe I didn't mean to cut you out. Maybe I did.
You did. Seeger's mom says, in Indiana, there are laws to only allow students a few hours a day while in school. Yeah, the same in Missouri, you know. Lately, our oldest daughter.
High school, or is that for
I think
college?
they're talking about high school.
Because this other one was college student.
This was a college student, not a high school student. oldest daughter, Laylee, she went to work as soon as she could because, you know, she wanted a car. She had to pay for gas in her car, insurance on her car, and maintenance on her car. So she went to work so that she could make a paycheck to do those things and to buy the more expensive stuff that we couldn't afford that she wanted. But she went to school. She had to keep her grades up because her work was in contact with the school, which was just up right down the road. So they knew. But she went to school every day, and then after she got off of school, she went straight to work. And then she worked the amount of time from the time she got off school till about 9:30 at night, and then she went home.
Correct me if I'm wrong, one of the benefits at Starbucks is they help pay for tuition for college students.
I thought that was an incentive for them.
That's what I said, it's one of the benefits.
City Bucks' main reason I won't do self-checkout is something will happen and I have to wait for help anyways. And that does happen. Scott says, my first jobs were trash can, lawn boy, and snow shovel. I had a Marine as a dad, Marine D1 as a dad. I worked for free. Room and board, he said.
I worked on the farm and I didn't get paid a damn thing. I got room and board, like you said.
Robert Max says, looks like going to 44 tollway. Martel says, yes, I saw that TikTok. It indicative of the bad work ethic here in America. See, I'm not the only one that's seen that TikTok.
Oh, little box truck, go.
Ridgeline says, seems that the government has had a hand in the servers' wages because they have to report tips as wages. Now, everyone thinks they should get tips like free money. Customers decide on gratuity. City Bucks says, seriously, every freaking time I need help. You sound like me. Texas Lady Wolf says, good morning to you both. Look at that beautiful sunrise. Like and share. I've worked since 14-15. Help my family. We are airline kids from the 60s and 70s. Nope, no self-checkout.
We appreciate that liking and sharing. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Al. Carol says, same with my girls, Mrs. G. School, work, and extracurricular school activities. My kids learn responsibility, time management, and good work ethic. That was one thing that our kids really, really hated when they were younger, is that I'd hurry them, because we had to be somewhere, say we had to be somewhere at 9 o'clock in the morning. And it was a distance. We'd be leaving the house by 8:30. We show up at least 30 minutes early to where we were going. Mom, we're 30 minutes early. We got nothing to do. I said, oh well, we're not late. And our kids have that mentality too. They like to be to where they're going early. And, you know, if they're not about 30 minutes early, they feel like they're late.
And trucking, if we're not an hour early, we're late. And when I'm home, I push the limit.
Yeah.
It drives her nuts.
Absolutely.
I'm always on time.
Freaking nuts. There was one time we barely made it by the skin of our teeth to a ball game. The kids were going out onto the court.
Did we make it?
And they were wondering where Mook and Bub were. B. Robinson says, I worked on a home farm when I was 14 and 15. Saved enough money and bought my first car at 16. Back then, if you wanted something, you worked for it. Eva says, never ever did I claim all my tips as a Gibson girl at Farrell's ice cream parlor in school. We were told to only report half by the supervisor.
Yeah, I can't give the tax advice. It's a liability that I'm not going to take on. But I hear you.
Melinda says, I grew up with 8 of us kids, and we all had chores, and our allowance was we got to live there. LOL. And as we got older, if you wanted it, you had
Mandy, they didn't get the luxury of having a job like Laylee did. Gerald and Mandy, they stayed very busy in
Extracurriculars, and they kept their
activities.
schoolwork, their grades up really
They had
good.
volleyball, basketball, FBLA.
Yeah, they were involved in all kinds of different clubs and groups and sports.
Even the summer was basketball camps,
Volleyball camp.
cheerleading.
Yeah, and cheerleading. Hugh Stevenson says, my first non-farm job was on a oil rig. 30 feet in the air, shoving pipe in negative 25 to 30 mile per hour winds was not fun. Put money in my pocket though. When they stacked the rig, I lost that job and picked up two.
I spent a lot of time out on the islands and in the doghouses in the oil field. Dad was a oil field mechanic, and I'd go to work with him quite a bit.
Kelly says, I've been out of it for a while, but servers' wages was only $2.13 an hour. That was federal. Some states like South Dakota now require tip-based jobs. Wages be half of minimum. Checker says, good morning, G's and G-Force family. Good morning, hun. John says, late, but I'm in the house. Safe motoring. Morning, John. This don't Colt says, morning, driver. What's your 20?
Oklahoma City. We're gonna stop up here at this Flying J and get fuel. With our fuel discount, it's like $1.10 discount, so I can't pass it up.
Every little bit helps. Ooh, I need to stretch my legs.
That's a huge discount.
That is. Kim says when we wanted to attend a movie theater, go swimming, etc., we worked for our entry fees. We cleaned up fields after harvest and could claim the toll at the elevators. We worked on an orange grove when we were younger to get into theme parks, etc. No lazy kids in our family.
When I was a kid, very seldom did I ask for anything from my parents. I knew we couldn't afford it, so I just didn't ask. As much as Mom wanted to give it to me, I'm sure, I didn't want to put her in the position of having to tell me
No.
we can't afford it, because I knew we couldn't afford it.
GDH says, morning, G's, just catching up. Safe travels today. Prayers, beautiful view, by the way. Good morning, hun.
But I went to work at age 14.
Scott says, not all kids are lazy. My 20-year-old will have her MBA in criminal law next year.
That's awesome.
And that is awesome, and congratulations
And that's
to
what
her.
we're saying. Anytime somebody says
It's
this
the generation or what.
it's not the generation.
Can't make a blanket statement because there are those that you don't see that work their hind ends off.
Problem is, the media lets us, all they show us is the ones that don't give a damn, that want to be entitled.
Yeah. Mary Ann says, good morning from Michigan. Prayers for a safe journey today. God bless you both. Good morning, and God bless you too. Gail says, morning, morning. Geez, have a great day. You too,
also.
sweetheart. Good morning. Karen says, gratuity is something else that should be earned. I hate places that point blank tell you they automatically charge a percentage for gratuity. There's no incentive for the server to earn their tip. Robert Max says, what's your truck stop for fuel? Loves, Pilot, TA, etc.
We're gonna go to the Flying J this time. I don't have a certain.
What's your favorite?
I don't. The one that has the best discount. That's the one I usually go to. Right now, Flying J's got a $1.10 discount with our fuel discount that we have with the company we're with. So we're going to Flying J this time.
Carlos says, same here, Gene. I would say pennies to be able to have enough to go to the ice cream shop with friends. I knew my parents didn't have the extra for that. Robert says, good morning, family from Cookeville, Tennessee. Good morning,
Good
hon.
morning.
Carol says, I was in Oklahoma City in September and went to the state fair. Awesome. Robert Max's prices for diesel is terrible.
Look at that. Look at 35 Oklahoma. Let me know what that exit number is. Make sure this is right. Should be like 137, 140. I bet
but works his butt off for me.
That's actually what Gerald's going to school for in the military, is to get his MBA.
That's good you found someone. It doesn't always mean that that person is defined by something they did in their past. KY Laura says, good morning, Trucker G and Mrs. G and G-Force family from a frosty northeastern Kentucky. Good morning, sweetheart. Carol says, my sister lives in Oklahoma. Evelyn says, good morning, G's. Good morning. April says, have a wonderful day, y'all. You too, sweetie. KY Laura says, 19 here, northeastern Kentucky.
Lord.
That's chilly. What's the temp here? 30. It's 30
Turn the
degrees
heat on
here.
because we're heading that direction.
In Oklahoma City. This road is awful. TP for Freedom says, good morning, KY Laura, 18 degrees and frosty here in Wisconsin. Eva says, I don't know if anyone has watched the prison genre channel, like Jay Williams' Let's Live Life. He did years in prison and now runs his own construction company, doing great. That's awesome. John says, safe arrival of my G's and flag t-shirt. Awesome.
Good deal.
Dave Newland says, good morning from Illinois, 18. Morning, Dave. Eva says he hires ex-cons but gives surprise drug tests all the time. If they come up dirty, they are fired. Evelyn says 19 degrees in North Missouri. Checker says my daughter just got a new job. She says she don't need that damn government assistant. She can now pay her own college loans. That's awesome.
Good.
Robert Max says Trucker G and Mr. G, are both of you heading home or continuing to drop a load?
We still got to deliver this load,
Yes.
but we're going to stop by the house and do a 10-hour break there.
He says yes, he's working out great. He stays up on the mountain above Sheridan, Wyoming in a camper and has my wrecker up there and loves it. They have almost 3 feet of snow already. Oh goodness. Eva says he is always telling stories trying to keep the young people out of jail. That's good. You can share his life experience with someone else and they can change their path. That is awesome. Robert Max says safe travels and God bless. Thank you, sweetheart. God bless you. Gene says, are y'all in Missouri? No, we're still in Oklahoma, sweetie.
Guys, we're going to get off here and get some fuel real quick. And we'll come back here after a bit.
All right, guys. We love you and we'll